I am back with another movie message. This is Jeremiah 2911 Ministries. Please like and subscribe. If you feel led to share this message, please share it. This movie is called Love Accidentally. And I just want to sum it up. I'm not going to be too long on this message. Just because it just pretty much just talks about how two people that are destined to be together ends up meeting each other by an accidental text message, and they ended up chatting and end up developing a friendship and feelings for each other. And it all happened because of a breakup they both shared in the same day. One had a birthday and the other one, it was unexpected as well. And so both of them heartbroken, and they both didn't see it coming. It just kind of happened suddenly. And so God's saying counterfeits are going to be breaking up with your kingdom spouse suddenly. It's going to happen unexpectedly. Something's going to happen. They're just going to suddenly just break up with your kingdom spouse. So, meanwhile, as they both got dumped by the counterfeits, her phone, one of their phones had got dropped in some water after the shock of being dumped, and they had to get a whole new phone, and all the numbers were wiped off. They were texting, so they thought they were texting their best friend, and then ended up texting the other person that was not their best friend. And they told them, hey, you got the wrong number. Then they just seems like we're both, going through the same thing. They end up, sympathizing with one another. They end up developing a co-friendship. That friendship where, you just want to get checked in on, or you check in on that person in the morning, the middle of the day, before you go to sleep, maybe 3 to 4 times a day. Especially it helps when, going through breakup and all that good stuff, right? It's not really good to go through a breakup, but, you get what I'm saying. And so, meanwhile, they both had jobs where they pitched for a marketing company, and both of them had the same job, and they were both was up for co-director or something like that. And so they were in competition with each other, and they were told that they bickered like married couples. And so they both were up for the challenge to come with the best pitch for a business idea for wine. And so the two were competing and going through a little bit of, different things. And they had to meet up with the same client. But let's just get it straight to the nitty gritty. Well, apparently, both of them were texting each other, and they didn't know that they were also working with each other, and they were also going up for the same position in order to win the client for the company so they can get a raise and get a promotion. And they did not know. So while they willingly not know, they just somehow just was checking in on each other. They both had the same responses. Oh, I'm at a work event. Oh, yeah, I'm at a work event too. And they didn't even dawn to them that they were texting each other. So they end up developing feelings. And then all of a sudden, they were thinking about meeting up with each other, but they changed their mind. Because they was like, kind of like how what we have going on. There's no pressure. And they call each other him and her. And so that's what they did. Meanwhile, as they're doing that, they're just having great conversations, pulling up their, getting their stuff ready for the meeting pitch. Meeting up with the client and together, and then leaving separately. And there was just like a lot of tension, and then all of a sudden they're like not bickering a lot, and everybody started noticing their behavior, like everything's different about them. And so the other one was just kind of like one of those egotistic, male, where they just think they can do everything, they know everything. Well, he went from that to just sympathizing. And she was like, you something's different about you. Like, like you're not like you normally are. And he was like, well, I guess I'm becoming more human. So he said. So he said. But anyway, so as they were getting to know each other on the text messages, but not too much working, they were competing against each other. They both ended up just kind of developing feelings, but the rule was to, there was no strings attached to the text messages, no harm to be done. Well, she wanted to see him, but he didn't want to see her because he just wanted to keep what they had. And so meanwhile, her ex that dumped her on her birthday decides that he wants to come back into her life and give her everything she ever wanted. So your counterfeit ex is going to try to come back in your life when you meet your kingdom spouse, and they're going to try to, come back into your life and tell you everything you want to hear. But the thing is, you wasn't even thinking about them because you're involved with your kingdom spouse, and things may not be exactly where you thought it was going to be at, but sometimes it feels good when you don't think about the person that hurt you the most. But the enemy is going to bring them back one more time, just to make sure you got them out your system. Let's just keep that real. Counterfeits are going to try to come to destroy what you have with your kingdom spouse. They're going to try to destroy your union that God has for you. Jeremiah 29:11. For, God knows the plans that he has for you, the plans to prosper you, to give you a future of hope, not, all that good stuff. And so the thing is, God is allowing you to be friends with your kingdom spouse, and you may not even know that they're a kingdom spouse. So you're going to meet your kingdom spouse unexpectedly. It's going to happen right under your nose. It's not going to be what you thought it was going to be. And so what ended up happening with this two people, he ends up finding out that it's her that he works with, and he was in shock. And she ends up going back out with her ex because that was just something she was familiar with. And he was telling her everything she wanted to hear. Meanwhile, she's not feeling him the way that she was when she was with him. So sometimes they will go back with the counterfeit because they're used to that person, because that's who they known. And it's hard to get to know someone new that's not willing to be able to be open, to maybe a possible relationship. So sometimes you feel like it's crazy to feel a certain way about someone so suddenly, so fast. But God said he wants to do a new thing in this lifetime, in this union. He wants to give you new feelings, new emotions, new love, He wants to give you something that you never had before. And so God is doing things speedily. So you might find yourself falling in love very quickly with the one that God has for you. And the counterfeit has no place in your heart anymore. And sometimes you have to see that it's dead to know that it's really, really dead, because sometimes you don't believe that it's dead until you go find out for yourself. And then God says, yep, it's still dead. Not rising that up again. Go back. You're going to be dead with that thing too. So therefore, God is raising up hearts to your kingdom spouse, giving you feelings, emotions that you never had before. Meanwhile, she's going out with her ex, going back out, and she's starting to think about him, and he's starting to think about her, and he knows who she is. She doesn't know who he is yet. So now it's pitching day, and they both have to pitch to get the client. So she has a really great pitch. Meanwhile, he goes in there and he doesn't even have a pitch. He decided to give her the position because she deserved it, and he felt that she was better than her. But let's just all say that it was a lot deeper than that, okay? He didn't just give her his job, give her a business partner pitch just because she was just good at her job, And meanwhile, they both ended up getting the position. And then he started quoting things that he was quoting only to her in a text message. And she was looking at him like, what did you just say? So now her mind is going and racing. And so she's like confused and trying to figure out what just happened. Because it's like, You just gave me this job position that you didn't even fight for, and you're quoting stuff that I was texting someone else, and now she doesn't know what to say. So she's just speechless. And he just walks out, leaving her with her, she had to pick up her face off the floor. Is that what they say? Her jaw dropped. But anyways. And so as the time rolls, they end up both getting it. And once she figures out that he is her or him, and, she takes his parking spot the next day, and he's laughing because he kept taking her parking spot at the beginning. And so he was like, you can't be taking parking spots in here. And she looked at him and she's like, how long have you known? He's like, just a couple of days ago. And they're having a whole conversation, and she's just like, I don't even know what this means. And he goes, it means that I love you. And she's like, what did you just say? Because he said he has never said the word I love you. And so he says that he loves her. And she says, say it again. And he says, I love you. And then they kiss. And it's like a happily ever after that. And then they go back to bickering like married people. So anyways, long story short, your kingdom spouse, you're going to meet them unexpectedly right under your nose. And it may be while you're working. It may be during a social event. It's called love accidentally. And so sometimes those moments of accidentally, there was a bishop that's out here. I can't remember his name right now, but him and his wife were just friends. And I can't remember how they became friends, but he only looked at her as a friend. And so they were just friends. That's it. He wasn't looking at her any kind of way. But he started noticing that good things was coming his way, that he was getting blessed being around her. And it took him a little bit to realize, it took him some months to realize that that's who God had for him. So he ended up marrying his wife and his kingdom spouse, and they were just friends, and it was love accidentally. And so there's going to be someone out here that's going to meet their kingdom spouse unexpectedly, and it won't be long. And it's going to happen, and you're going to be busy focusing on your career, focusing on your life, and boom, it's just going to happen. So, I just want to say congratulations to the newly kingdom spouses discovering each other. And God is about to do some new things. He's opening eyes, He's opening ears, and He is allowing people to finally be reunited together. And kingdom spouses are coming in and counterfeits are leaving out. And so just get ready, because you haven't seen nothing yet, sorry. Sometimes I get tongue-tied when I'm too excited. But God is doing something great and miraculously in your life. And I just hope that, you please like and subscribe. If you feel led to comment, you can. You feel led to sow. The information's on the community post. I don't have it too visible just because you're going to have to dig if you want to give, or send me an email at jeremiah29112023@gmail.com. I appreciate you for taking this time to listen to this message. God bless you and have a great day or a good night. Bye. I am back.